Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Stephen Wicks, and we're here with the Money Show. And this is the BBL Money Show, and we're live, and it's almost 12 noon. We're running just a little bit behind, but we're here for you. And of course, you know, this is a show where we come together and talk about business and financing and funding is a better word to use. We have with us, like we do every week, Mr. Ron Garnett of Garnett and Associates. Mr. Garnett, how you doing, sir?
I'm fine today. How about you, Stephen?
Man, I'm doing great. You know, we've got somebody else that's going to be joining us, and we sent the message out to all of our members that if they wanted to come on and promote their business and have a conversation about some of these topics, to join us. And so we have somebody already, Mr. Henderson. He's backstage. He'll be joining us shortly. And yeah, so this is just going to be a quick show, but a very impactful show. And we want to talk again for everybody that's watching. We want you to participate as well. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to go ahead and type us, whether you're joining us on YouTube or Facebook. However you're joining, we want you to be a part of this show as well. So we're going to go ahead and talk about our first topic that we have here. I found this article, and it's about businesses, Mr. Ron, having to basically become the police, right?
Okay.
Because you've got all these municipalities that are starting these rules about wearing masks. And so the business owner puts the business owner in a predicament whether he wants to abide by that rule or not. I know in Atlanta, for example, in Atlanta, if you do not want to require your customers to wear a mask, you have to put a sign on the door.
Okay.
But then you have some businesses that might want to enforce that. So what do you think about, you know, how difficult is this, do you think, for business owners to be able to, you know, deal with this? And here's an article that came up, by the way, about this dilemma.
Well, personally, I think it's unfair to the business owner to make them enforce a rule such as that. Because if you're a business owner and you have people coming to your business, you do not want to alienate anybody. You do not want to tell somebody you got to wear a mask, you don't wear a mask. On the other hand, if you got customers there who don't feel safe, you might alienate them. So
Yes.
I think if you're a municipality and you are elected official, you don't pass the buck to a business owner.
Mm.
You don't, either you have a mandate where everybody wear a mask or nobody has to wear a mask, but you don't put on a business owner to enforce a municipal rule. Because if you are a municipality or a state or whatever, you are not depending on that person giving you money. And you should say, well, the law says you got to wear a mask, or the law says you don't have to wear a mask. But I don't think that you should be forced to decide whether you're going to enforce mask rules, because when somebody comes into your place of business, you are inviting them in to spend money. And I think it's kind of where you're straddling the fence if you are a municipality saying, well, we or the business owner decide or enforce that rule. If you want to enforce the rule, you enforce the rule. But don't put it in an individual business owner's hands, because you're going to turn away a customer and lose a customer forever because they don't want to wear a mask. I mean, it's your bottom line. It's all about money. And as a business owner, you're providing a service or a product, and you're asking somebody to give you money for that product or service. And Many people have all kind of reasons for not wearing masks, wanting to wear masks, getting vaccinated, not getting vaccinated. And it's a dilemma for a business owner, one you don't want to be in, where you got to make decisions that's going to cost you money. Because, like it or not, those politicians, nobody forces you to run for office. You go out and run for office. You spend money to run for office. And if you're going to be doing that, you should bear the weight of your decisions. I think they're trying to shift the blowback to somebody else rather than take the bull by the horns themselves.
I don't know. I think it's tough all the way around, because even for when you look at the politicians, we're so divided right now. There are some people just strictly refuse to follow the science. I mean, and they are adamant about not following the science, and they I see like Mr. Henderson's got something he want to say about that. But they will fight you tooth and nail. I don't want to wear a mask. I shouldn't have to wear a mask. I shouldn't have to get vaccinated. And so, as a politician, I think what they might be doing is just giving people, because if you've got that business owner that is adamant that he doesn't believe in the vaccine, that he doesn't want to be forced to wear a mask or have his customers wear the mask, I think I think the politicians are like, okay, we'll leave that up to you. That's your personal business. We'll leave it up to you. But like you said, it puts those other business owners in a bad spot, having to police it. Mr. Henderson, yes, sir.
Now, I just kind of want to comment on one of the statements you said about people not trusting the science. Well,
Okay.
here's my play on that, because I'm an engineer, been an engineer for 25 years, and I've never had issues with the science. My issues have been with the scientists, okay, and how they misuse information and how things are done. Just go back historically. These are the same people that created draped ammonia. Okay, look up draped ammonia. Draped ammonia was a physical mental disorder that's classified on the books that was given to people who wanted to run away from slavery or run away from their oppression. So that they caused that. They said that was a physical mental thing that existed. So is that the science or is that the scientists? Okay, the Tuskegee experiment, where they purposely did stuff to us. Was that the science or the scientists? So when you say people don't trust the science, I don't think that's the case. And if me, I've always trusted the science. I don't trust the scientists. That's all I want to say.
Okay, can I say one thing though?
Yes,
please.
What I'm saying is that when people are passing the buck, is that whether you want to take the vaccine or not take the vaccine or whatever, it's kind of a personal decision. However, there are impacts on society that your decision makes. Where I live in Augusta, Georgia. Believe it or not, Augusta, Georgia is a regional medical center. The state medical school is here. There are several specialized hospitals here and everything like that. If you got so many people with COVID-19 in the hospital, you cannot get a bed. You can't go in the hospital because the infections were so bad, they would not let you in the hospital to see anybody because it was so overrun with COVID-19 patients.
And that's because they told you that. Is that because you know that? Where has the flu been for the last 18 months?
Well,
look at the records from the early 2000s up until now. Look at influenza, look at the flu. And since COVID came around, where are there no flus? Why are there no flu deaths? Everything has been converted to COVID, because if you can put enough fear into the public, they will do exactly what you want them to do, and they don't have to be forced. Fear
okay.
is a great motive.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is that I have known people who had pneumonia and couldn't get in the hospital because they had no bed. And they just had to get a hotel room because the beds, that was not a hospital bed in Augusta, Georgia. As of, a year ago, early in the year, you could not get a hospital bed. You could not go in for certain types of surgery because they had no bed for you. And these people I knew.
But I could get you. Were you told that, or did you go to the hospital and you saw that it was overrun?
Well, when people who I knew went to the hospital were sick and couldn't get in. Now I didn't go count each bed, but
then again, did they see it overrun? How do you know?
Well, they went to emergency room because they were sick. It was full. They said, we got no beds for you. Go home, go get a hotel bed. Go get a hotel room. No, and those people I knew, or they were sent home. Or they were sent home when they were sick.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think I hear you, Mr. Henderson. I definitely understand where you're coming from. For me personally, I just what I found is that at some point, if you don't have any trust, like I hear what you're asking the question, but if you don't have any trust in, let's say, the news, if the news is reporting that this particular hospital doesn't have any beds available, if you're at the point where you don't trust that coming from like a trusted news source, then yeah, nothing that we're going to say is going to convince you, because you basically don't have a fundamental trust of the entire system that you're a part of. So
no, because the television is a tool, and it's a tool used to control a narrative. It's that simple.
I
don't trust half the stuff I see or hear. I trust patterns. I trust research.
No, I agree in, to some extent that you don't just use one source. But what I'm saying is that these are people I knew personally who were sick, who could not get in the hospital because they were told there was no beds. I knew people who went to the hospital for other things other than COVID-19 and couldn't get in the hospital because they said that they could not get in because there were no beds and couldn't get procedures done or therapy, for example, because the infection rates were so high. The doctors did not want to expose them to the virus because it was out of control. Now I too, understand. I got worries too. This is a finance show, but we kind of got off the subject a little bit. But finances. But what I feel is that you got to make the best decision, for yourself. And if you choose not to do it, you also have to understand that societal cost too, because if public hospitals are overrun, it's going to cost more tax money to run those hospitals. So you got to hire more people, and now the human toll, where you got people who are disabled, got long-term effects from diseases. So that's a decision you got to make. Even with businesses, trying to steer it back to a financial cost. If you are a business and you got people, a key person, where you're trying to fill a contract, and that person gets sick in the hospital because of COVID-19, and you can't replace them, you're in trouble. The worst thing that can happen to a business is to have a key person. Say if you're a construction person, and you got somebody who is an expert at running your job. They have what they call a key man, so to speak. That's even key man insurance. Where if a key person goes out in construction, what happens if your work crew gets infected and you can't put anybody on the job? I mean, and you default on a contract. I mean, that's a heavy economic burden.
Here's, I think, for our members that watch this on the replay, I think this is a good approach. I mean, you can take it or leave it, but if you have a fundamental distrust of the system and the news reporting about this topic, as a business owner, you cannot just go off of your thoughts and your inclinations. This is business, so you have to have facts. If you think that the news is lying about a particular hospital being not having enough beds, go down there, talk to a nurse or an employee, and say, "Hey, what's the situation here?" Get the facts so that you can make a decision. Well, great. Yeah, I will respect someone who has gotten, like you said, facts, not reports, because you got if you got the news reports that you don't trust, then you've got the alternative news that may report something different. And I know some people who will just always default to the alternative, like the people who are always trust Fox News because they don't trust ABC, NBC, CBS. So if Fox News is opposite of what I don't trust, I'm just going to always believe what Fox News says. And so you don't want to fall into either category. Just try to get as much information so that you can make a good business decision. Because if you don't want people coming into your establishment getting sick because you just thought that something was true or thought something was not true, try to
I agree with is it Ron? Was that your name, Ron?
Ron, yes.
Yeah, I agree with Ron said. I think he said something earlier about, find out what the laws in your state dictate, and then follow the laws of that state. If your state mandates to the business do this, then this is what you follow the laws because you're a business owner in that state. But if you have an option, then as a brick and mortar business owner, then it is your right to protect your business, to protect yourself. If you feel as if wearing a mask or not, give that option up to your customer. Give them the discretion to either wear one or not wear one.
Okay. Okay, I understand that. Okay, here's my bottom line: is that as a business owner, you got to weigh options. If I say have a restaurant, and I got a certain percentage of people who don't want people wearing masks or whatever, or don't want waiters and whatever, I got to look at what's it going to cost me. I mean, am I going to lose the people who don't want to wear masks and people who don't want to come in because my staff is not vaccinated and not wearing masks? Are they going to be afraid to, come in? Now, and some people are just, are going to say, I don't want to be exposed to something. I will tell you, I'm an adjunct professor at a local HBCU, Payne College in Augusta, Georgia. And when I walked on campus, I think Tuesday was the first day of class, there was a big sign: if you enter into the administration, but you got to wear a mask.
Okay.
I mean, that's just their rules. And as students will come in, you guys sit 6 feet apart. And some had on masks, some didn't, but everybody was 6 feet apart. Most had on masks because there's a sign in the when you walk through the doors, have your mask on. There's a sign that says there's a machine here to test your temperature. You stick your head in the machine and it says whether your temperature is normal or not. That's a private school, so I guess they can say that. Because we were devastated because people got sick. And we didn't have class for a year. I was teaching a class over a year ago, and I had about 3 or 4 students. They all went to the hospital. I had 2 or 3 students in the hospital with COVID-19. I didn't have enough class, so we had to stop class. So,
Wow.
I mean, and I was kind of worried. I said, well, what was I exposed to? So I had to go get tested because of
What
that.
did the CDC say the recovery rate was for COVID-19?
I'm not sure offhand. I think it was
97.5%.
about 90. I think it was like 94% recovery rate, I think.
7.5.
Okay, yeah, and most people recovered. Most people recovered. I mean, but I also have talked to people. I'm not get off the subject and arguing with you, but I also have talked to people who've had it, and they were saying that they felt they were almost going to die. It was the most horrendous experience of their life, and these recovered people. I've had friends who had it who didn't recover. I've known many people who've passed, who died from COVID-19, in families where something happened I've never heard before, where they had like double funerals, like the husband and wife got funeralized at the same time in the same church. So there's a family.
So how much research have you done on these COVID-19 deaths? Because to my understanding, when they've done autopsies on these, the majority of these people's death is due to thrombosis.
All right, I haven't done any research particularly on that. Okay, but I'm gonna try to get far afield. But
yeah. It's one of those things, man. It's like.
But I know we said we're gonna try to get half an hour, but from a business standing point of view, if you're a business owner, I know that COVID-19 impacted a number of businesses I worked with, where people who were in certain industries like restaurants, nightclubs, beauty salons, barbershops, when it hit, we were told, by saying we, business owners, were shut down. I mean, they said close your business.
I'm gonna go ahead. This is not something I think that we can come to a conclusion on. I would just say that in addition to everything that was said here today, that this is a global pandemic. So everyone would have to be lying. Like what happened in India in terms of them being overrun with all those patients. I think you have to just look at the totality of what we're dealing with, this global pandemic, and that, I never heard about hospitals being overrun with flu patients or anything in the modern history, but this is something that's different. So it just demands us to be vigilant in terms of information. If we were on the plantation and Massa came and said, "Hey, boy, get yourself together. It's a tornado coming, or a hurricane coming." Just because it's coming from him, he may be telling the truth. So I can't just assume that just because it's coming from him that it's not truthful. And I'm not saying that you're doing that. You said you've done your research, but again, everybody do exactly that. Do your research before you just blindly believe or follow anybody.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead. This is going to be the last word.
Okay, is that as a broker dealing with financial matters, or somebody who does research or who looks at things, I don't have one funding source for my clients. I have a variety of funding sources, and I try and fit a funding source with my client with the best option. That's what I do. I mean, I don't sell anybody a loan product. I say, this is what you need. This is the best loan product that I think might fit you best. Or maybe try and give you a couple of, 2 or 3 options. But in getting to that point, I spent a lot of time kissing frogs, going to dead ends and stuff like that, because a number of people who I work with couldn't deliver what they said they could deliver. And so what I'm saying is, I don't just read a newspaper. I just don't read one source. Try and get different sources, different points of view, and make your own best informed decision. That's what I do in my business. If Mr. Henderson, you said, I know you in the energy business and everything, and you do engineering and whatever. If
I have to respect my clients, when I go to, because I'm in B2B and B2C. So when I go to talk to a potential customer about his commercial electricity product, I have no idea what his thought processes are behind this. So what I do is I have a mask with me. I look to see if there's any verbiage on their door about wearing a mask or so forth. I look to find out if the people inside are wearing a mask. And if that business owner dictates that people come into his facility to wear a mask, I put a mask on. If they don't, I don't. It's that simple.
Okay. Well, what I do, what I was saying is that I do the same thing with funding. What I do is, like, if you are working with a company, and the company, you're the B2B company. I have worked with B2B companies in the past, and they said, I want a loan. I've talked to them. I said, a loan is not your best option. You got other options out there other than a loan. There's with B2B, there's stuff like factoring. There's purchase order finance, things such as that are detailed. That's commercial financing that are business types of loans that I work with, but you have to individualize everything. And what I'm saying is, in anything you do in business, don't have one funnel or one source of information, or just have one thing going. So,
yeah.
But you gotta make a decision on your own. Like I offer I have like a dozen different funding products, different funding things. Some I tell my clients not to take. I mean, like, if somebody comes in and says, I got a funding product for you, and it's something like, what is it? So I can get you $1 million. What is it? If it's if it's a revenue, say it's like a credit card thing, or something that is like a payday loan type of thing where they take your revenue and whatever, and you look at that and say, well, yes, you might get $1 million, but you're paying like 100% interest on that money. I mean, so you got to do your research, and just don't have one thing that you are tied to, so to speak. And so everybody have to agree, but everybody got to make the best decision. But I'm just saying, don't just look at one thing and say
one vantage point. Gotcha.
One vantage point, many different vantage points, because everybody got different, different point of view. Like, I mean, trust people you can. I was talking to, I know about the medicine thing, is that the Ebola virus. I was kind of disturbed that when 2 white people got in Africa, they flew them to Atlanta and gave them a vaccine for it, and they were on TV 2 days, 3 or 4 days later, and the black doctor in Africa was saying there's a cure. They read about it on CNN. They didn't know about it. and they would say, well, it's not tested. Well, I said, well, we're stepping over bodies every day. We don't care whether it's tested or not.
Wow.
And that
Well,
happened like 2 or 3 years ago when Ebola was rampant in Africa. So,
well, I know one thing that will help all of this.
yeah,
One thing that will help all of this is success. The more
yes,
success we get for ourselves in
yeah.
our communities and in our businesses, the more options we will have, right? The more
Now
control.
that is true
Like,
because healthcare is a commodity. If you can buy it, you can buy as much healthcare as you want to, and as much
right,
protection as you want to.
right. So it's
Okay,
controllership. That's what Jay Morrison says. Somebody I follow. He calls it
okay,
not ownership, but controllership. And so part of that is making sure you make good decisions. So we've got
yes,
somebody on the screen that can help you make good decisions in terms of commercial energy. All right. You like that
yeah,
segue? We're going to talk about commercial energy,
right, yeah,
right? So we got Mr. Henderson, who's a BBL member, and he's going to talk a little bit about his business real quick before we get off the air so that everybody can know what he has to offer us in terms of what he does. Mr. Henderson, you want to give an explanation? I'm going to bring up that page you sent me as well.
Sure. My company is called Advanced Energies LLC, and we actually provide a multitude of solutions for commercial business owners. We have physical products, we have services. We started out as a consulting firm and then eventually started doing commercial energy. And then as we started growing our commercial energy business, we started realizing our customers had other areas where, we were leaving opportunities on the table. So if you expand that page that you have up and scroll up some, you'll see that below where it says supply side solutions, scroll up. Yes, they're down there. So you'll see a multitude of technical solutions that we provide, which are supply side solutions. Supply side solutions are helping you determine the best ways to pay for the power that you use, which means it could come from different commercial energy providers. It could come from maybe a solar panel or wind turbine solution. It's different ways for you to find out the best way to save money on the energy that you use. Then we also do what's called demand side solutions, which is more like an energy audit. So we'll go into a business, we'll find out what the business is currently doing, and then we'll find out if there are technologies or solutions out there that will help that business reduce the amount of energy that they consume. So we help them save money on what they pay, and then we help them save even more money by showing them ways to reduce how much actually energy that they use. So in addition to that, then we've decided that there were other solutions that, since we had solar solutions, we found out that, well, there's a lot of companies that realize solar panels by themselves are not going to be totally sufficient. So we aligned ourselves with a company to be able to provide battery backup solutions. And then in addition to battery backup solutions, we then also added other services that were synergistic to everything that we had. So from a business standpoint, we go in, we talk to a business owner. We may start out with commercial energy, but as we develop a relationship with that business owner and ask them questions, we may find out maybe he's having issues with his payment processing issues, or maybe he's having issues with the fact that his water bill is extremely high. And then we come to find out, oh, well, we see you're using these 100-gallon boilers for your hot water in a normal workday business for you. You have 600-gallon water heaters. You're using 200 gallons of water a day. You're heating 400 gallons of water that you're not using. That's inefficiency. We go in, we replace that boiler system with a tankless water system, save that business thousands of dollars. So there's a multitude of ways that we can go in and show business owners many things that they don't know that will help them increase their bottom line. Because really, there's only three ways a business can make money. You can sell more of your product or service, you can raise your prices, or you can save money. That's it.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah, we need to have you come on and talk in depth about some of those money saving techniques that you can help businesses with.
Yes, sir. We would love to do that.
Yeah, for sure. And also we've got Mr. Ron Garnett, of course, with us. We all know he's the money man. He gives us access to capital. And tell us a little bit about, Mr. Ron, your upcoming webinar that you've got planned
Ooh.
for us.
Well, it's going to be this Sunday, I think, at 6 o'clock, and it's going to be basically a webinar on funding. It's for the people who want to have a good background in funding for their business. If you want to start a business, if you're already in business, how to expand your business, and the sources of money that are out there. Most people go to a bank. The bank tells them no. Then they get discouraged. They feel the bank won't help them. What we're trying to do is give them alternatives so that when a bank tells you no, that should be the start of your funding process and not the end of it. And in some instances, if you know someone's going to tell you no, start with the alternative process first, and also know how you classify whether you're a small business or micro enterprise, and if you are able to get many different funding options that are out there for the business, just to educate people. Essentially, it's going to be a masterclass where we'll give you options so that you can make the best decision about your business. Uh, Basically, we know that money is the lifeblood of a business. Plenty of people go out of business because they don't have enough money, not properly capitalized, or if they get money, they get enough money to get themselves in trouble so they can do half the job and can't do the job. And this is to try and help people to know where to go, how to go, and what products that are out there available for them.
Okay, and this is the website they can go to. And all the members, you're going to get an email with a link if you want to join that webinar to learn more about, how to get access to capital. You will get that invite in the email box, or you can directly go to bbl.cashtofund.net if you know you need funding right now, and go ahead and apply. Mr. Ron will take care of you and get you started, get you going with that. All right. So this has been a very interesting very interesting show here today, guys. you know, and I knew it was going to be an interesting topic, when I brought it up, but it's just definitely one of those things where it's just like, ooh, it's like, wow. It's like we cannot get, a consensus on this thing. It's just divided. I think people's point of view is so all over the place, but it affects all of us, whether you believe it, don't believe it. It's just it's big, it's huge, and
Well,
we all
for
have
me,
to.
there's one thing that sticks out to me. Being a 58-year-old person, I personally believe that your health is your wealth, and so focusing on things that help you build your immune system is where the focus should have been. Now, my other issue is the fact that I've lived long enough and been around long enough to understand that Western medicine is a business. They don't make money curing people. They make money on treatments. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, I mean that's something. You know what? I'm glad you said that. I've been trying to figure out what the next show for our health channel is going to be, and I think we need to have a conversation. I'd like to see some debate. I want to stir it up a little bit. I'll put this conversation over there. Talk about vaccines and masks and taking a more healthier living approach to the pandemic. I've heard people talk about that as well, but I think it's all valid. The healthier you are, the more robust your immune system will be in fighting the virus. We know that. So that's
Tell me
something that
this
we
though,
need to talk about.
why is there a narrative now where they're pushing the vaccine as a better solution than you building your own natural immunity? Why is that narrative being pushed? And let me give you a scenario that why I'm totally against that whole deal. Okay, first of all, you notice you start out with one vaccine, then you have to take another shot or so forth, and then you've got these variants that that can occur. But when your body uses its own natural defense system for immune, it takes adjustments for potential variants and so forth. There's a reason that your body has a fever. A fever is a good thing. A fever is not bad. A fever means that your body is reacting to something bad in your system and it's working its way out. And then once it works its way out, that fever will pass and you will feel better. That's just a part of genetics and the biography of it. Now, when you put a substance in your body that's going to say, we're in charge of the immune system of this body and we're here to block this X gene. So now your natural immune system is going to sit back because now you've got this in your system saying, I'm here to block this X gene. Well, now the X gene, which is blocking, that X gene now is mutated into a Y and a Z.
He thinks we're on the Health Channel now.
Go right past that X, okay? But your natural immune system, which has been lazy, it's not going to do anything. So Y and Z is going to pass on through. Now what do? Now they're going to sell you another vaccine to address these Y and Z variants.
Mr. Henderson, I'm gonna send you a personal email to join us on the BBL Health channel to talk about this because I hear you. You're fired up. You're ready to go. I know you're going to be a great contributor to that show.
Dude, I have so many books. So many books, it's ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah. So before we leave, I see Mr. Anthony Fairley joined us, and I think he's there by audio. Can you hear us, sir?
Yes, sir, I hear you.
All right, how you doing? We just want to say hello. We were getting ready to end the show, and I saw you popped in, so I just wanted to give you an opportunity to, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yes, my name is Anthony Fairley. My business, AGF Business Consulting. Basically, what I do, I work with small businesses and help them increase cash flow within their business. As long as it's not a business from home or anything like that, I can show any business owner how to find $10,000 to $50,000 in their business, and I don't even charge for that. Basically, I just work with all small business owners to help them increase their cash flow within their business, help them increase revenue, help them to be more successful.
Well, man, I appreciate you stopping by and tuning in. Now, I'm going to tell all you guys, what we're going to do with our Facebook page is ask our members who want to be mentors. So there's a lot of folks that could use all of you guys in terms of, your consulting work or your business loans. So I'm going to put out an email and ask for those of you who want to become BBL mentors that people will be able to, from Black Business List, we've got almost 2,000 businesses. If they request to have a mentor, we need mentors that are able to say, hey, look, I'll help you with your business if you need help with marketing or, whatever the case may be, operations. So we're going to be looking for those of you with specialized skills that may want to help other business owners out. So if you guys are open to that, stay tuned for a message about that as well. So, and that'll probably help you get some new customers. Some new clients. So, yeah, that's cool. Well, thank you for joining us. This is the BBL Money Show. We're running out of time here. We've had Mr. Anthony Fairley, the MBA, small business consultant. We've got Mr. We got the next up here. I want to say Mr. Ron Garnett from Garnett and Associates. He's the money man. If you need some funds up to $400,000, make sure you go to bbl.cashthefund.net. Put in the application. It's very quick and easy to do. And he also has this upcoming Sunday a webinar. So we're going to be sending out an email blast about that as well. All of our members will be able to click the link and register for that webinar. All right. So we also have Mr. Andre Henderson Sr. He can help you save some money in your business in many different ways. If it's energy and other ways, he can help you save money as well. So he was a part of the show. We want to thank all of you guys for being here. And we're going to, just improve this show. Every week is going to be different. And hopefully we're going to keep raising the bar and keep getting more and more of our members to join in, because you all have a lot of expertise and a lot of perspectives that need to get out there. And you need to get to know one another. All of you guys are BBL members. So I feel today was a success because Mr. Ron Garnett met Mr. Andre Henderson, and you both met Mr. Anthony Fairley. So you all are members. Feel free to reach out to each other, go to directory, look each other's contact information up, and start making connections. All right. So
Awesome.
yeah, I really appreciate you all being here. And anybody got any last words they want to say before we end?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I'm interested in helping anyone out in any shape, form, or fashion that I can. Like I was saying earlier, my information is free. I do charge to implement it, but it's something that they can do on their own. Power to it. I'm looking to help anyone that needs help.
All right, Mr. Henderson.
I'd like to second that emotion. We offer our services. They're free consulting services. What we do is we ask clients specific questions to find out what their pain points are. Then we come back with solutions, multiple solutions to present to them, and we let them select options that they think is best for them. We don't sell anybody on anything. We provide information, and then we let the customer make an educated decision on what's best for them. We get our compensation from the business owners, the electricity companies, the manufacturers, the other companies that we have a relationship. They compensate us. So you as a business owner or a client, we don't charge you anything.
Awesome.
Good deal.
All right, and Mr. Ron Garnett, the money man.
Okay, just remember, money is the cash flow to your business. We can help. I mean, we have many sources out there, and if we don't get you funded the first time, we give you a roadmap to get funded. We don't tell anybody no. We just say you got to do this to get the money.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Hey guys, go ahead.
Understand.
You want to say something? I thought somebody was saying something. Thanks, guys, for joining us for the BBL Money Show. Stay tuned, everyone that's watching this either live on the replay. You're going to get some emails sent out to you for Mr. Ron about his webinar and some other opportunities for mentorship coming up soon, and some other programs that we're going to be running out, and a show in Chicago that we're going to be doing live later this month, live from Chicago. Okay, so thanks,
Support Black
guys.
business.
That's
Support
right.
Black business.
Absolutely.
I heard that, Andre.
Black business. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Y'all take care.
All right.
Thanks,
All right.
All right.